What is going on, guys? Pumpson87 here, and today I'm here bringing you the ASR Singapore race review. Now, for this race, I expected not much at all, to be honest. I did some practice, and I felt like I was terribly off the pace. Singapore is one of my hated tracks, if not the most hated track by me. I know I've said that a lot about other tracks in the calendar, but I just don't like Singapore. It just doesn't fit with my driving style, I guess you could say, maybe? I don't know. But unfortunately for this race, we have two randoms who decided to join for no apparent reason. This is a league race, and unfortunately we set it to friends only rather than invite only, as some people had trouble getting in when there's invite only when they're disconnected. So we set it to friends only for this race, and unfortunately that's meant that there's two randoms decided to join our lobby, and one of them's already tagged me on the formation lap, so that's me kicked out of the formation lap straight away by Reese. I'm trying to read it. Reese Norman, 20, and I sent him a message during the formation lap. I was talking to his picture, make sure I didn't miss the start of the race, telling him to leave now. So as you can see, I gave him plenty of warning, plenty of notice. I think a few others messaged him as well during the formation lap and before the formation lap, and he, well, newsflash to you guys, he didn't leave. Nor did the other guy, which is Big Black something, I don't know, whatever his name is. But, I mean, seriously, you might be fans of Team Marduk, but do you have to interrupt an ASR League race and then be named and shamed by the whole of the F1 community? It's pretty atrocious, and we'll definitely change it for next race to invite only. But anyway, we've got the 5 lights, I'll cover that now. We're at the back of the grid, by the way, so after poor qualifying, we get hesitant on the start as the newcomer, the random decided to jump start, and they went immediately into the wall. I don't think anyone got any damage from it though. It didn't impact any of the actual league races race, which was pretty good. And it was actually a really good start by everyone, so it's really good to see that there was no big incidents in the first 2 corners. Bit unfortunate for me actually, really though, because I was hoping for a little bit of carnage to make my way through the field. But I had an awful qualifying, so I just wanted to start back of the grid and keep it clean, as I thought there'd be a lot of crashes during this race, and I thought I'd just pick up the pieces when everyone fails around me. But now we're going to the end of Sector 1. Looking good so far on the back of DC Shadows on the soft tyres. I'm on the super soft tyres. And we're going to look around his outside now through the hairpin. I wasn't actually meaning to do this move, but he left plenty of room. And that's kudos to him. We actually get the position. Very nice move. New Zealand Ryan there, spinning into the wall, and took me to our surprise quite a bit during the race. Luckily he ghosted once again, thanking the ghosting system on this game. Otherwise I would have been wiped out by a spinning car. But I'm not quite sure who he had contact with. I couldn't find any post-race clips either, so I'm not quite sure what happened to him. He might have had contact with Acho, maybe. I'm not quite sure. Joe, maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure on that, unfortunately. But now we're going towards the end of Sector 2, as we're behind Warden. There's a big train ahead, and I feel like, so far, I'm keeping pace with these guys. I'm not doing too bad. Got Warden is trying to find any means possible to get his way past, I think it's Acho ahead of him, and then Joe ahead of him. But looks like some guys ahead. Maybe he've bottled it, maybe he crashed in a front wing or something, but they're going really slowly. I'm all over the back of them. I'm having to brake in corners I don't want to brake, just to avoid damaging my front wing and the back of them. As I say, I'll cut the corner just to avoid making contact. Just a little bit unfortunate getting a warning, but I didn't make any advantage at all. I mean, I'm no closer to the guys ahead, but I just cut the corner to take avoiding action, I guess you could say. But going to the start of lap 2 now, and the guys ahead, they're going really slow, all over the place. Warden went very wide, caught out on the exit of turn 3. We're now side by side him, going towards turn 4. He goes to the left, he makes contact with me, but I'll hold his around his outside, going through, I think that's turn 4 maybe. And he actually backs off quite a bit. I think he just swapped across me and didn't realise I was there, so he backed out of it quite a bit. I'm not quite sure, but now going towards the end of the DRS straight. We're all over the back of Achos, all over the back of Harry Ryan. I believe Harry Ryan might have front wing damages this part of the race, I'm not quite sure. But it's been a very chaotic but very strong start from us so far. Peeking away from the field. We've already made 2 decent overtakes, so can't complain too much. As Achos all over the back of Harry Ryan, and we're all over the back of the Force India driver. And you can bet that Warden's going to catch up right over the back of us as well. His is a very quick driver as well. Yellow flag as well, so someone else has bottled it at some point during this lap. We're trying to find any means possible to get past Acho. Trying to get early in the traction there to get past him, but no, unfortunately. He's just got the legs in us. My setup as well for this race is very high downforce. So unfortunately, it makes it very difficult to pass anyone on the straights. Someone off there, off to the left-hand side. I'm not quite sure who it was though, and I don't think he actually gained any position. So it might be the newcomer guy, Reese Norman. I think we can have a replay of it in a second. But we got yellow flag ahead. Brock has binned it into the wall at the stadium section. We go Ryan is outside. He's got front wing damage or no front wing at all. I'm not quite sure. V6 Racing leading very comfortably at the front at the fast lap of the race as Harry Ryan pulls into the pit lane, and that's me up into P8 now. Vacho right in front of me, but looking quite slow on his soft tyres. So it's a replay of Brock does stuff. He's behind Ben, and unfortunately, this is Reese Norman being an absolute twat and trying to take Ben out of the league race. So that's him, name and shamed. To be honest, I don't care. If he's going to interrupt a league race and take one of our drivers out, then he deserves to be named and shamed by the F1 community, I feel. So Ben, if you want to use that clip, by any means, take it and feel free. But it's very unfortunate for him. It's definitely impacted on this race. I think he got front wing damage, but still continued, luckily. But back with the battle, myself and Nacho, we're getting very close, all over the back of him. I felt like I could make a move there into the hairpin. Fortunately, he closed the door, and I was half hoping you leave a bit of a gap, but unfortunately, it didn't really amount to anything, because we're all over the back of him, but just can't find a way past him at the moment. And we make a slight mistake there, contact with the wall as we lock up the rears under braking. Warden's all over the back of us as well, and he was trying to look him inside, but I knew he was behind me, so I covered it off for this section. I didn't want any dive bombs into the stadium section. That would definitely slow us down quite a bit. Now to lap 5, we've got Joe and Chimchar. We're caught up to both manners. I'm not quite sure what they're doing. They might have an incident together. I'm not quite sure. But we've got Warden still behind. It's very challenging to try and attack and defend at the same time. Be the middle filling in the sandwich, I guess you could say. But on the end of lap 5 now, I've got DRS. It's a personal best, I believe, on a 146 dead. Going across the finish line. Acho goes up the inside of, oh my god, it's Joe. And he squeezes him out on the exit. They go quite wide. Joe goes quite wide. We've gone to the curb. It's a bit shook up. But now we're going to the exit and we spin out into the wall. We've come across and Warden a little bit, maybe. We're going to have a replay of the incident in a second. But to be honest, I didn't expect him to be there. I thought he had to back off behind me to get around Joe. But it definitely took me by surprise. But I'm pretty sure it also left enough room. We're going to have an in detail look of the instance, and I feel it's not as clear cut as it seems. So here's Warden right behind me. He has front wing damage. I'm not quite sure what from, but there's Acho squeezing out Joe. He just avoids it. Now we're going to slow my replay. I go into the curb, and there's me in the top right, and on his screen I just turn across him, but that's not what it looks like on my screen. On my screen he's already made contact to my right rear. And next year, I've got my wheel straight, but he's already made contact with my right rear. And that's me swiping across him, but I didn't have control of my car at that point. I don't know, what do you guys feel? But I feel like it was a racing incident, if not even a touch lag involved. Because there was already contact on his screen. I don't know. Because I wasn't contacting his screen, but I was contacting my screen. As you can see, they're Acho squeezing Joe out on that corner. That made Joe lose a lot of time. But now I have to come into the pits in this lap to get a front wing change, as it's red on the front left. So going to the pit lane now, and we are pushed into the pit lane, and that's a drive-through penalty. We've been pushed by, oh my god, it's Joe, and we sped into the pit lane just like in Silverstone last season. We have to do a drive-through penalty for something that's not at all my fault. Warden, by the way, has to come in the pits to do a front wing change as well. Same with Joe, I believe. But that's just fucking unfortunate. As you can about to see, another slow my replay. It's definitely a push. Apparently it didn't happen on his screen. But as you can see, my speed definitely increased from about 65 to about 80. And by the time I applied my brakes again, it was just way too late. Way too late. I mean, I slowed down to 65. Only 5 kilometers above the speed limit, so I had plenty of time to stop. I wouldn't have sped if I had not been pushed. So as I said, apparently it didn't happen in his screen, but it definitely impacts in my race quite a bit. And I was incredibly pissed off at this point in the race. I was raging like a motherfucker. I mean, lap 6 must have been the worst lap in anyone's ever had in league racing history. I mean, to have a racing incident caused by lag, which to be fair it is, and then to be pushed into the pit lane is dreadful. But anyway, New Zealand Ryan has got past Harry Ryan, and we're going to have a look past him. He's made contact with the wall. Hopefully it wasn't my fault there. We actually cut the corner to avoid running into him. And that's a drive-through penalty right there, which... Oh, that's a drive-through penalty wasn't before. but that's our second corner cutting warning. Both times trying to take avoiding action from cars, which is a bit annoying, but I don't know why I was trying to race Harry Ryan. I think I was just very pissed off, very frustrated this time of the race. I was obviously about to go into the pits to drive through a penalty, and that's going to put us back in last place. And we look behind us. I'm sorry about the looking behind me there, but I was incredibly annoyed, so I just didn't really care at this point. I mean, I set a personal best on the super soft tyres once again, and I feel like my pace is strong. I felt like my pace is really strong, and I was slowly catching up to the guys in front. There was a huge train ahead, as you can see, going through the end of the first sector as Brock goes into pit lane for his pit stop. But I would have been definitely in that train had I not been pushed in the pit lane and had to do a drive-through penalty. It's, I mean, I haven't binned it at all. None of the, I haven't crashed or anything. I half expected to bottle it during this race, I have to expect. It's just instance through no fault of my own. And it's just incredibly frustrating. And there's my first penalty for corner cutting. Very annoying, really. There's also just a touch wide, just a touch track extending, really. As now we're going to pit lane for our second stop of the race, pitting on the super soft tyres once again. And we're going to run to the end, lap 20. The super softs should easily do that. As Aaron there comes to the pit lane again for his final stop. As hopefully we can race him to the end, maybe. He's been involved in a few incidents this race as well. But V6 Racing, by the way, has just stayed clean and just sped away from everyone at the start of the race. Joe now is just right in front of us. I don't know where he came from. But he's just now right in front of us on the road. And I was hoping to catch up to him and unleash a bit of revenge, which I felt like he definitely pushed me to pit lane. I was still annoyed at him for that. But anyway, moving on. This is lap 22. It's an incident with Brock. And he gets pushed into Harry Ryan by New Zealand Ryan behind. And if you looked at his wing mirror there, he definitely got pushed. A combination of being pushed by the Force India and being, Harry Ryan sort of just cut in front of him. No, didn't really cut in front, just slammed the door on him. And there's Aaron forcing him to the wall. So Brock there, a very instant-filled race. Not really his fault both times either, though. So that's a bit annoying. Very clumsy race by everyone. There's quite a few incidents, so I think the stewards are going to be busy. And that's another penalty for... I mean, that penalty I was raging like a motherfucker about as well. I went wide, I lost time, and it gave me a penalty. I quite clearly lost time there. And I still got a penalty, which is deeply annoying. But now, unfortunately, we've got blue flags warning at this time of the race. We've got virtual safety car. So I was just hoping, praying the V6 would come into the pit lane for a pit stop or something. And that would mean, as once again, Joe just appears in front of us. I don't know where he comes from. Maybe he's made a few mistakes during this race or something. I don't know. But I was just hoping that V6 would come into the pit lane so I wouldn't get lapped. Unfortunately, that we didn't. And by the time virtual safety car ended, he's still on my back and we got blue flag warning. So unfortunately we're going to be lapped during this race. Deeply annoying. That's just the way it is. I would have been definitely within the points had both of those incidents not happened. I think Acho is way up in the stronghold of the points, maybe like 4th or 5th. And I was definitely faster than him at the time of the race. I felt like I could have got past him and I could have been challenging him. As one stop I was definitely on target for. But that's just the way it is as racing, and unfortunately things don't always go your way. As now we're checking the tyre scaling, we got 68% on the front right. And because I was raging and just in bad mental state with the entire race, I completely forgot, for the first 2 stints, I had already run the super soft tyres. As you can see Brock there, just clipping his tyre on the right kink there. Very easy to do, but this is a mistake by myself. But to be fair, my race was already over before this happened. But I'd run the super soft tyres again, and I hadn't run any other tyre during the race. Those super softs were the tyres I ran in my first stint when I came to the pit lane in lap 5 or whatever. So of course they were heavily worn. But it just shows I would have easily done the one stop, as I nearly did the race on 2 sets of super soft tyres, and could have definitely worked to do super soft and soft. But of course, going to the end on the ultra soft, I set a good lap time, like a 43. But coming across the line now, I'm P11. Joe's quite a few seconds on the road, but I got a lot of time pointers during that race. Quite annoyingly, just a write-off, just an absolute write-off of that race. I mean, obviously I didn't come into this race with plenty of expectations, just those 5 laps though, how strong we were running. No mistakes up to that point, and Ben there, fending off 2 cars to the end. Highly impressive by him, and he gets a well-earned podium position. As X-Vicho also comes across the line for P6. They've got New Zealand Ryan on the Ultrasofts and Warden just behind him. Vicho actually bottled it on lap 1, came to pit lane, he's run these soft tyres all the way to the end of the race, which is incredible, like incredible tyre wear from him. How he does it, I'm not quite sure. I can't match that, to be honest, but impressive by him, to be fair, coming home in P6 after bottling on the first lap. I don't think he bottled, I think he had an incident with someone, but I know he got front wing damage. But Harry Ryan there, coming home in 9th place, as Joe and me both got lapped, as the last of the runners. Incredibly frustrating. Congratulations on V6 for winning quite considerably. And it was a very quiet race for Greek Master, well recovered from Team at Marduk after the incident with that random guy who joined. But yeah, that's just a missed opportunity. I believe Greek has now passed me in the standings as well, just for good measure. So, I don't know, hope you guys enjoyed. That was just a very woeful race for me. I was looking strong, positives, my pace is good. I didn't bottle it, apart from the strategy, but that my race is already over by then, after the 2 main incidents. So, hope you guys enjoyed. I should see you from Malaysia, which is definitely one of my better tracks, and if I don't get a good result there, there'll be some ultimate raging going on, put it that way. So I hope to see you guys for my next video, whatever that may be. So see you guys then.